to be able to. So I'm going to send you into groups. Just a minute. No, I'm not able to do that. Derek, you need to make me the host so that I'm able to do that. But meanwhile, let's just hear quickly. I can see Anthony is there. Anthony, this is your moment to shine. Tell people what you do and why you're here as we wait for Derek to make me a host. Okay. Yes, Anthony, go ahead.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Anthony.
I'm Anthony. Yes, I'm in the space of doing what's called marketing. Yeah, I do a lot of more of social media marketing, and I help clients, especially in the FMCG, to market their products. Yes.
Awesome. So I'm going to send you, we are about, I'll send you to 5 rooms, and you're just going to quickly get to know each other. You might just find your customer there. Or,
even he has been credit exchange.
Somebody is mute. Okay, yeah. All right, so once you receive an invite, please go to your group. It's a moment to network with others. We're all business people, I believe, and you're here because you want to connect with one more person, and you never know, this could be your destiny connector. So just go in there, get to know who is in the room, what do they do, and how can you collaborate. And then you're going to choose one person to present to the main group, the people you have found in your group, okay? So you only have 5 minutes, not so much, only 5 minutes. And then, so once you receive the request, please join. So the people who are here are those who have joined a bit late. We ask people to go to breakout rooms so that you can have a moment to meet others and just get to know one more person, you know, a networking forum. Let me see if I could assign you to a group. If you receive an invite, you just join. Let me see. Can you hear me? Anyone who is hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, let me try and assign you to a group. No, actually what we do, let's get to know each other here because the others are already moving on. So we can appoint one person who will take notes, and then each of you will introduce themselves, say what you do. If you're exporting, what are you exporting to where? Okay. So can I appoint for you or you want to appoint? Let me appoint someone. Jason. Jason, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, you're going to take notes and you can start by introducing yourself. There's a moment to get to know others and to be known so that when you, maybe somebody has what you need in this room. Okay, go ahead, Jason.
Okay, hi, my name is Jason. I am a beekeeper, but I work with farmers across the country. So basically what we do is educate, we empower farmers and we educate consumers on bee products. So I work with beekeepers, we train, we sell equipment, but starting next month, we want to start retailing honey from our various farmers across the country.
Awesome. Next, Ruth Juguna. The others, you can be typing in the chat what you do, your name, what you do, where you're joining us from. Yeah. Ruth Juguna. Okay, Jared Makori. You know, these are golden opportunity. If you're given, you take it quickly. If you don't, we move next. Yes, Ruth.
Yeah, I'm Jared Makori.
Yes.
Can I continue?
Yes, please continue, Jared.
Yeah, I'm Jared Makori. We are in startup phase. We are now having sweet potatoes.
Wow.
So we are trying to look for the market to sell them. They are ready because we planted in October. But by 2 years from now, we shall be having also Hass avocado and bananas. So if we can find the market, because I heard that the advertisements about the market, so we can appreciate. So I'm here to learn.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Jared. Next, yes, no, we have Jeff Mushiri. Jeff, we can't hear you. Nick? Okay, people don't want to introduce themselves. Jesse, you're there. I can see you've come. Unmute yourself. Jesse, we can't hear you. Unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hi, Ruth.
Hi.
Yes, go ahead.
I run an export company, meat and avocados, mangoes, pineapples. I'm here to learn.
Ah, awesome. Yeah. So where do you export to?
Mostly Middle East.
All right, awesome. Okay, so welcome back. I know the time was, how was it?
We didn't finish introductions.
Oh, you didn't? I should have taught you the 30 seconds introduction so that each one of you just takes 30 seconds. You know, when you have such a short time, you only need 30 seconds to say your name, what you do and what you need. Just 3 things. In 30 seconds, you're done. Sorry about that. So keep typing your introduction on the chat. We're going to, people will be checking on the chat to know who you are, and then maybe you could connect. All right. So I want us to start because I don't want us to go beyond 8 p.m. I want us to start the agenda for this meeting. Benson, you are the leader of your group.
Yes, I was nominated.
Okay, how many people did you get to know? Could you share? Please share.
We had Anne. Anne sells potatoes. We had Perpetual, who sells strawberries. Felix and Edith are both, and Beth, sorry, are both curious. They want to go into agriculture soon. Felix being a 4th-year student at UON.
Wow.
And Beth is not just curious, she's being mentored into learning how to grow and sell herbs. Last but not least is Lynette, and she sells fruits, veggies, and herbs.
Wow, very interesting people in your group. That was group what? Which room?
I think it was room 3.
Okay, let's hear room 1. Do you remember your rooms? Anyway, anyone who was leading, just raise your hand and share who was in that group, that room. Leaders. Yes, go next, Delia Dean.
Okay,
I
great.
hope I pronounced it right.
Yes, you did. In our room, I don't remember what the number was. We had Derek, who's the business connector, of course. We had Emma Muchina, who's a freelance financial manager based in Dubai, and she runs a sports football academy. Well, not only football, but other sports in Dubai. We've got Elizabeth. She's a farmer in Laikipia, and they're growing asparagus and would like to expand. And then we've got Salim Abdullah based in UK, has 14 acres in Meketoni sub-county, 4 years of experience and wanting to grow his market. And then we have Ruth and Njuguna, who's an exporter to the Middle East. That was our group.
Wow, a very interesting group there. Next, who is the next leader? Leaders should volunteer quickly.
I can go ahead.
Okay, go ahead,
In our
Juliana.
group, we had Anthony. Not only self, but also other people who have interested needs. We had Cleophas Chesole, who deals with handicrafts, Kikoy's baskets, carpets, handwoven generally, and is also dealing with farmers and is looking into the export market. We had Christine Muriuki and Nancy Dalla, who are interested and curious about export. They want to know about exporting to Dubai and all that. And those are the ones we are very happy to have here, because when you're curious, we get moving. Cleophas wanted to know more about 20X. I promised him that that's coming very soon. Then did I forget someone? I think we're in room 2. There's one gentleman who didn't get to speak, and so I didn't get his name. That was us in room 2, I think. I'm not sure.
Awesome. And so we have had from 3. So there are two rooms remaining. Who are the leaders in the other 2 rooms? Please just unmute and go ahead.
We did not choose a leader in our group. I think we were in
You
room
are the
5.
leader.
I've chosen myself. We were in room 5. So we had myself, Elizabeth Mwende, who is in agribusiness, tendering fruits, vegetables, and cereals, and much interested in the export market. Kelvin Mugenti, who is in export promotion and branding. Joshua Kimaru of Loki's Green Stores, who again deals with agri products. Brian Mudomi, who is a small-scale chicken farmer. And we had Jackie, who is a farmer and exports chili from Kajiado. All of us are interested in knowing more about the export business and the opportunities that are there specifically in Dubai.
Awesome. Very interesting people there. The last group. So if your group has not spoken, just know you're the one. Please go ahead.
Okay, let me talk. We are quiet because we didn't also do a leader. And yeah, but our group was group number 4. There was oh dear, guys, you might have to help me, interrupt me, because I didn't write down the details, but we had an avocado farmer and an exporter in our group. I think she was Modoni. Is that right, Modoni? Quickly. And then we had Davis. Davis
Yes,
was
you're right.
yeah, good girl. Davis was oh dear. Davis, what were you? Forgive me, guys.
Yeah, it's okay. But farmer based in what issue?
Yes, farmer in Eldoret.
Yes, we basically majorly deal on agriculture, that is colored capsicum, tomatoes, and passion fruit.
To innovate and use machinery mechanization in their farms.
Excellent.
Yes. I hope I was clear.
Yes. Somebody's then there was the last one was the last one was was it Wamboi who was also doing some export, and she's had some bad experiences in Dubai where she has been scammed more than once, and so she's looking for the organization, your organization, to help her get around that problem.
Wow, wow. Sorry, Wangari, about that. Yes, it's good to do a lot of due diligence.
Oh, I forgot. Sorry, myself. I'm Chris Kabiro. I process oils. We call them cold pressed or virgin oils, dealing mainly with sesame or simsim. We also press sunflower and even pumpkin oils when there are seeds available. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you,
And
Christopher.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are definitely the leader in that group, even if they didn't appoint you. All right. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very exciting conversation that we are having. I would like to introduce the 20X team. Actually, I want them to introduce themselves. And we start with, is it ladies first or the men before? Let's start with the men. Derek.
My name is Derek. I am Derek Gadrimo. I am the digital marketing person for 20X. And it's a pleasure to be here. I don't know how many of you got my message and got confused, but it's me. It's me.
Why were you confusing people? Yeah, that's Derek. I'm sure you receive a lot of communication from him. Yes. Next, we have Alison.
Hi, good evening. My name is Alison Mutengi. I work for 20X Entrepreneur Limited. I'm a training coordinator and I do also administrative work. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Alison. We have Juliana.
Sorry, guys, and good evening. Karibuni sana. I had appointed myself in one of the groups as a leader. So I had spoken earlier. I do matchmaking at 20X, where we get for you the person you need in sales. You want someone to do sales for you, we get them for you, we train them for you and hand them over to you. And we teach them how to work, and they work well. So thank you so much and welcome to this exciting Dubai Fest that we are having right now. Thank you.
Say that again. Your role?
I do matchmaking. We hire for you stuff that you need for sales. Then we link them to your business. You tell us what you need. We have a pool of people who are looking for jobs for sales. Some are trained, some are in the process of training. We also do entrepreneurship where we source staff, basically sales staff. They are trained, then we give them to you when you need them. Yeah, am I clear?
All right.
Yes, you are.
Thank you so much. My name is Eunice Mainamburu. I'm your host today. I'm the founder of 20X Entrepreneur, and I have been in sales for the last, oh my goodness, since 2009. How many years are those? Somebody, quickly. That's about
13,
14
going to
years.
14. Yeah.
Yes, 14 years in sales. And out of the 14 years, 6 years I've been running my own business, which is Bismart, an online insurance comparison platform. Please mute for me those people, Derek. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so I've been in sales. Before sales, I was in training. I did training for 5 years in IAT, Institute of Advanced Technology. I trained technology and business communication. And before then, I was working in a pharmaceutical company. So, so I'm your host, and it's been a journey, and I'll explain to you why you're here and how we're going to work together. So just allow me to share my screen. Let me know if you can see it. There's a lot of things. Can you see my screen?
You're waking up some muscles.
Derek, please help me with muting people. Please, yeah. Can you see my screen? Anyone? I just need to see, to hear from, you can see.
Yes,
Oh, awesome.
yes, we can see. Concept
All
note.
right.
Yes.
Okay, great, great, great. So you can see the title is Dubai Sales Fest, August 2023. And this meeting is a preparation towards that. And what is it all about? So by the end of today, by the end of this session, you'll be able to understand why you should export to Dubai. Number two, you're going to understand the objectives of the Dubai Sales Fest 2023, and you will also understand what you need to export to Dubai. Now, before I continue, there's someone I've forgotten to introduce. Oh my goodness. Mugendi. Mugendi, please. I know you're going to be speaking, but please allow me introduce yourself. Where are you? There he is. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I forgot to introduce you.
It's fine, Eunice. Good evening. My name is Kevin Mugendi, and I work in Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency. It is a state corporation responsible for export promotion and nation branding. And I'm a guest speaker in this forum. So you'll be hearing me more, and I'll be sharing with you some information which might be of help to you as you plan to travel to Dubai. So see you in a few.
Thank you so much, Kevin, for joining us. It would have been so bad that, forgetting you. So good people, that's Mugendi. He's going to give you a lot of information on how you need to prepare for this trip, because we don't want you to just go there and discover that you need some licensing that you don't have, or discover there are things you needed and you don't have. So we want you to be ready for that, okay? So you're going to be able to understand what you need to be able to export to Dubai. Just a little bit background of why we are doing this. You all know that, and I know some of you are economists, you know that there's a trade deficit in Kenya. We always import more than we export. And that's not a good place to be as a country. And the deficit reached 1.37 trillion shillings. That is for between Kenya and the GCC, the Gulf and the Middle East countries. So that's a huge gap in terms of export. And we only have a market share of 0.11%. Can you imagine? You know, the whole of that market, we only have 0.1%. 0.11% of that market. That means it's need for Kenyan business people to focus in exporting to Dubai. Let me give you a brief about 20X Entrepreneur. 20X, I know you're wondering, what are these people have to do with Dubai exports and all that? So 20X is an organization that trains and coaches entrepreneurs, sales leaders, and salespeople who are struggling to grow their sales consistently and predictably. We enable them to grow their income or their revenue 20 times in 3 to 5 years. So our dream for you, all those who interact with 20X, when you come to 20X, our dream for you is that you grow 20 times, hence the name 20X. So we are able to measure our effectiveness when you achieve 20 times. So just look at how much you're doing, how much sales you're doing currently, and dream with us, because it's a dream we have for you. So can you dream with us on how you can grow 20X? And this is heavily borrowed from my own personal story as a business person and as a sales person. Please mute. Please don't unmute. When I started selling, my first sales job was in insurance. And when I left my training job, I was earning 25,000 shillings. And in less than 3 years, I was able to grow my income 20 times. So basically, and this is why I borrow from that, because it was the beginning of what I would call success for me. You know, success means different things to people. But in less than 3 years, I was able to grow my income 20 times. And so when we started BSmart, BSmart is an online insurance comparison platform. Again, in 2021, 2022, we were able to grow 7 times. So, and one of the things that we realized about our target customers, who are the business owners, they struggle to sell. Now, selling is our, you know, it's what we know best. So we thought, how can we help you sell more so that you keep buying, you know, more from us? So we started 20X Entrepreneur, and we started 20X Entrepreneur to enable you grow your revenue, your income 20 times in 3 to 5 years, okay? Now, how do we enable you to do that? There are several ways. Number one is training. We train you as an entrepreneur on how to sell, because we realize most of you business owners, you don't keep your salespeople because you don't understand sales. So you can't be able to manage salespeople. And so they keep leaving and you say they're bad people, okay? Number two, we coach you through the journey. You know, we have virtual group coachings, and some of you come for one-on-one coaching so that you can be able to grow your sales. The other way that we help you grow 20X is through creating networking and networking forums, networking events like Sales Fest. We recently had our annual Sales Fest event, which happens in January. It was on 12th of January. And actually, the Dubai Sales Fest was born as a result of the 12th of January Sales Fest. This is an event where business owners meet to exchange business. Now, in that event, people demanded that they want to go outside the country. And so how we operate is you give us the problem, we find the solution. And so we've been working towards that. And after asking many people, one of the issues was we want to export to Dubai. Now, we don't just do things. So we start to do our homework. So doing our homework with our network, we have been in conversation with the Dubai Chamber of Commerce, and they are willing to organize and help us, you know, match you with the buyers, okay? So that's the whole idea of 20X Entrepreneur. So Sales Fest is a baby of 20X Entrepreneur. It's an annual multi-sector sales event where business owners, sales leaders, and sales enablers meet to share their experiences in sales enablement learn from one another, and celebrate those who are excelling in sales. Now, in addition to that is to exchange business. So what about now Dubai Sales Fest 2020? So the Dubai, I've given you a sneak peek of how we came up with the Dubai Sales Fest. It is our first trip we are organizing to Dubai. And the whole idea is, how do we match make you? Not just you going there to network. You see, there's a difference between networking, whereby we have a conference and you'll meet people, you might get 1 or 2 business cards, and then after that you can continue with conversation. Our focus is to go beyond networking and match you with the buyers. So one of the things we'll be asking you is your profile, so that then we get the profiles of the other people in Dubai and start matching you before we go to the trip. I had someone who says that you've been duped and all that. One way to avoid being duped is to actually meet the people who you're doing business with. Create a relationship so that they can remember you, you can remember them, and you know where to find them, okay? Number 2 objective is investment opportunities. Now, this one is for the financial services players and real estate, those who want to meet Kenyans in Dubai. So we are going to have like 2 events in one. There's your event, which is for exporters purely and importers, and then we'll have one Kenyans in Dubai meeting the financial services players and the real estate players in Kenya. Okay, and then of course, you don't just want to do work without play. So you want to mix work and fun. So there's also an opportunity to tour Dubai. So those are the 3 objectives that we have for the Sales Fest Dubai August. Okay, so this is the Kenyan delegation we are going to go with, the exporters of farm produce. We are very specific on that because we have, after collaborating with the Dubai trade attaché, with the Dubai Chamber of Commerce, is that a big need for the agricultural produce, okay? And then we have the real estate players and the financial services. We have a different meeting for them. So this is your meeting, the exporters farm produce, okay? So the Dubai expected audience is the importers, people who want to import from Kenya. And as I've said, we want to go a step further. It's not just a networking forum where you just meet whoever and you don't know who you're meeting. We want to do due diligence before we go there so that you know who are you meeting, what should you expect, and what maybe you need to carry samples, whatever is needed. We need to go ready to sell. Now, if you notice, even the name of our company, 20X Entrepreneur, we focus on results. So we don't want to just say, no, we had a good trip. We want, when we are coming back, you're going to tell us, yes, I met these 3 business owners. They're going to import these tons of goods. That's what we want to hear. That's our measure of success. So please help us succeed as we help you succeed, because your success is our success. Okay? So what is the expected outcome? Increased Kenyan agricultural produce exports to Dubai through matchmaking. And then for the financial sector, we are looking at increased diaspora sales. And this is a big one, mindset transformation. Once you get out of this environment, your mind opens up and you're able to think different. You see life in a very different perspective. So in combining the fun, there is also the mindset transformation. In our language, where I come from, we say that the person who does not travel imagines that the mother is the one who cooks the best food. Okay, so that you don't imagine that your mother cooks the best food, you need to get out and just get your mind blown away, or rather, is it blown away or blown off? No, don't blow off your mind. But yes, you know what I mean, okay? So that's what we are expecting. Now, at this juncture, unless there is any question, I want to invite Kevin Mugendi, the Principal Officer, Trade Advisory Services, that is Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency, to just take us through. Kevin, you have seen that all the people who are here, apart from a few who are here to learn, everyone else is here because they have some produce they want to take to Dubai. So what do? We want to export to Dubai. Where do we begin? Over to you, Kevin.
Okay, I hope you can hear me.
Would you like to share the screen?
Yes, just a moment.
Yes, let me allow you to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, now you can.
Okay.
If you have a question, please type it in the chat. We will answer all questions after the session.
So, good evening once more. My name is Kelvin Mugendi, and as Eunice has introduced me, I work for Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency, and which is a state agency, that is a government agency responsible for export promotion and nation branding. So before I dive into my presentation, let me first of all commend Eunice and your organization for this initiative. Actually, we do similar activities. We also organize similar activities for matchmaking and helping exporters access markets and opening up markets in other countries. So I want to commend you for that. And I also want to say, getting Dubai Chamber of Commerce to be a matchmaking partner is quite ideal, because 50% of your due diligence work is done as an exporter. So this is quite a very good opportunity for anyone who will be participating in this matchmaking forum, for you to participate, because any person who belongs into a chamber of commerce of a certain country, to start with, that can be some level of credibility as you seek to do business with them. So I have a presentation for you, and let's see how I have organized it. So I'll talk briefly about our organization, Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency, and then I'll dive into the main presentation of exporting, how to export horticulture in not just UAE, but also in other countries. We'll look at business builders. We will also look at image builders, the legal requirements that you need in order for you to, at least the minimum legal requirements to allow you to export. And then also we shall also look at the export documentation that you require. And then we shall also, I will also share with you marketing channels that are available so that people can participate, as many as possible can participate in export business. So Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency is a state corporation established under the State Corporation Acts Cap 446 through legal notice number 110 of August 9th, 2019. So that's how we were established in 2019 through a merger of two agencies, that is Export Promotion Council and Brand Kenya Board. And like I said earlier on, our mandate is to implement export promotion and nation branding initiatives and policies to promote Kenya's goods, export of goods and services. So our vision is to transform Kenya into a top global brand. And our mission is brand Kenya, export Kenyan, and build Kenyan. Our tagline is inspiring global trade. So our core values there, as you can see, them are collaboration. And one way we collaborate is what, for example, I'm doing now. We work with different stakeholders to ensure, to support exporters, to ensure that they have access to export markets. We are very customer centric. We like listening to customers' needs and basically responding where we can, offer a lasting solution to them. We believe in innovation because innovation is about bringing solutions to a problem. We are also very energetic as an agency with a mandate to brand Kenya. We must bring a lot of energy to the brand. Despite the negative connotations that Kenya has, we try to push the Kenya brand out there as a very strong brand. And also, we are passionately Kenyan, basically bring the idea of patriotism to our country and our people. So let's, the presentation that I had prepared for you is focusing on horticulture products, because that's where largely we have, Kenya's exports. A lot of Kenya's exports comprises of agriculture products, and a sizable percentage of Kenya's exports comprises of horticulture products. And I believe in here, we have exporters who deal with the horticulture products. Basically, these are crops that take 6 months to mature. So as an exporter or somebody who wants to do business with an importer or a buyer in Dubai, what are you looking at? What do you need? What are some of the things that you need to look at? When you look at the business infrastructure that you need to acquire a trading premise. By a trading premise, we mean an office, have a pack house, because it will be required when you're obtaining an export license, and also have a cold storage. Remember, most of the horticulture products that we export are perishable, and therefore you need to demonstrate, or you have a facility where you can store them to improve their shelf life. Then number two, you need to establish communication infrastructure. When we talk of communication infrastructure, we are talking of what is your address, your legal address, the PO box, post office box address. What's your office phone number, and what's your email address? This is to help you to facilitate communication between yourself and the importer or the buyer. Then you also need to develop business image builders. You need to appear. You don't need to appear like a briefcase company. People can tell how a briefcase company looks like by simply how you present yourself. For example, when you're communicating with your buyer, if it's a letter and that letter does not have a letterhead, it is easy to conclude that you are not a formal business. So it is very important for you to have a letterhead. It's also very important for you to develop impressive business cards. Have a very good business card that by looking at it, somebody wants to engage with you. Develop a company profile. What is your company about? Do you have a vision? Do you have a mission? Do you have core values like I earlier enumerated? And what products do you have? And if there are products, do you have certifications? For example, we know when in agriculture, we have certifications such as Global Gap certification. That should appear prominently in your company profile. We have other certifications like organic. Maybe your products you claim that your products are organic. Then that certification needs to appear in your company profile. Then how do you package your products? Branding. It should be it should be visible from, for example, your website. And also try as much as possible to create, what we call your online play. It's widely now called online presence. You can create an online presence by building a website, by utilizing social media tools like Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Basically, have some content that you can share with your buyers so that they can associate with your brand. So that's very important. So moving on. Sorry, it appears I'm unable to move to the next slide, but I'm trying.
Maybe you stop sharing and then you share again.
Okay. Okay, so the other issue is post-harvest handling facilities. You need to ensure that you have collection sheds at the farm. You also need to look to ensure that you have insulated transport vehicles, a packing house, and cold storage. Now, when you are going to be obtaining a license, an export license, like we shall be seeing in in a moment, these are some of the things that they will be looking at for you to, to obtain that export license. They'll ask you, do you have collection sheds? And can you verify? Can you show them where they are? How are you going to transport your produce from the farm to the shed, and from the shed to the port of exit? So that needs to come out very clearly. Then, do you have a packing house? Do you have, especially people who are in this business, they have leased go downs where all this is done. And for some, especially for big companies, you will find that in the farms where they are located, they have built all this infrastructure so that they are able to operate, of course, and also the cold storage. So the legal documentation that is required, especially for people who are operating in the horticulture space, you need at least a certificate of incorporation for your company, and that also should help you to obtain an export license. So once you, if you are in this business, make sure that, of course, you have a certificate of incorporation, and when you are going to register with AFA, that is Horticulture Crops Directorate, this is what they shall ask you. Where is your certificate of incorporation? So when we go to export documentation, here we are looking at permits and some certificates. And one key certificate is a phytosanitary certificate by KEPHIS. Now, I want to emphasize something here. There are two organizations in horticulture sector that work hand in hand. The first one is HCD, and Agriculture and Foods Authority, and the second one is KEPHIS. The moment you obtain a license, once you obtain a license, an export license from HCD, it is advisable and very strongly advisable for the exporter to go to immediately walk into KEPHIS and register your export license. Why? Because some markets, and particularly Europe, Europe demand in some crops, they demand that before you even export or before you start even doing export, officers from KEPHIS must come and verify your soil. They must come and do some soil testing. So you can imagine just obtaining a license and thinking that you will export, only to be shocked that you have not worked with KEPHIS to meet some of the market requirements that are there, that have been established by the market that you're working with. So it is very important, and I want to emphasize this. Immediately you get the export license, walk in KEPHIS offices, register your license, your export license, and also KEPHIS has a repository, or they have all the market requirements for all markets that we export to. So it's very important for you to work with KEPHIS very closely. And once you work with KEPHIS, depending on the market requirements of the country that you are exporting to, they'll assign you a specific officer and even extension services for you to help to make sure that you meet the requirements. Again, remember KEPHIS will be sitting at the port of exit, whether it is at the airport or it is at the port of Mombasa, whether you're delivering your consignment by sea. So one of the things that they will be checking is whether you have met the market requirements. So if you haven't met the market requirement, they stop your consignment at that point. And if you have, they allow your consignment to pass. So again, I'm emphasizing on this. Please make sure that you work with KEPHIS after registering with the HCD very closely. Now, for a market like Dubai or UAE, or generally the Middle East countries, you may find that they don't require you to work with KEPHIS from the onset. But for you as an exporter, so that you avoid that risk, please work with KEPHIS so that when it comes to clearing your consignments, they are done, and they are done in good time, and you don't have those risks of having your consignment being suspended. Now, the next certification is the certificate of origin. Now, there are two types of certificate of origin. We have the preferential certificate of origin and the non-preferential certificate of origin, or what we call the ordinary certificate of origin. Preferential certificate of origin is issued to exporters where an exporter is dealing with a country where Kenya has a bilateral or multilateral agreement, has entered into. But for an ordinary certificate of origin, in this case, there is no bilateral engagement or bilateral agreement between Kenya and that country. Now, in this case, the reason why we are indicating that you have to you'll have to apply for a certificate of origin, that is the ordinary certificate of origin, issued by Kenya National Chamber of Commerce. It's because there is no, currently we don't have a bilateral engagement, but from where I stand, I am seeing a lot of effort in having a bilateral agreement, not just with the UAE, but also with the GCC, basically the 6 countries that form the Middle East. So certificate of origin, of course, that is mandatory. So in this case, it will be issued by Chamber, but once we have an agreement, then it will be issued by Customs Office, that is Kenya Revenue Authority. Then other documentation that are quite critical are the commercial invoice. These are some of the things that will accompany the consignment when you are shipping. You'll also need bill of lading, very important documents, and packing lists. Now, these last 3 documents, that is the commercial invoice, bill of lading, packing list, they are very key, especially when it comes to payments. When you are choosing the mode of payment or the method of payment in export business, there is one method which is very secure, which is called letters of credit. A letter of credit, for you to be paid using a letter of credit, a commercial invoice must be there. A bill of lading, either sea freight or air freight, must be present, and also a packing list must be present. So those 3 documents, they are very important, especially if you're going to be paid via letter of credit. Then I have put a note there that it is important that you train on the single window system. Now, the single window system is basically an ICT platform that processes export documentation. Now, KenTrade is the agency, is the government agency that facilitates that. So you as an exporter, it is important for you to train with them and also to open an account in the single window system so that you are able to see how the clearing and forwarding processes happen, and you will be able to participate. As the company grows, you can hire a staff, or maybe the accountant of that organization can be the person to handle those transactions for you, because sometimes business can be, you can be more committed and you find yourself, you don't have time to operate the single window system. But I strongly recommend, as an exporter, please go and train with KenTrade. They charge a small fee, I think as low as 5,000. And I think it can be a 1-day to 2-day training, depending on how heavy it is. So moving on to the next point is, there are some things in the agriculture sector that can make you stand out as an exporter. One of them is Global GAP certification. Global GAP certification is what is ISO certification for companies. Global GAP simply meaning Good Agricultural Practices certification. This is a certification that is offered by Global GAP itself. And in Kenya, they have a correspondent office here in Kenya called AfriSat Limited. If it is possible, and if you want to grow your business, especially around horticulture exports, I would strongly recommend for you to pursue this certification. It is a very good certification. With that certification, you can be sure you will open a lot of doors for yourself and for your business. You will open you have a huge access to European market, because that is one of the things some of the importers look at. And also, we have another certification that is called organic certification, which is offered by Kenya Organic Agriculture Network, or NSAT. These certifications, they may not be a requirement in some of the markets, like the UAE, but if you have them, it's good to blow some trumpet around them. And when you are presenting your catalog or your business profile, it is very important if you have them and you can show proof. When somebody sees these 2 certifications, either any of them, they see a serious exporter. So if you want to be competitive in this sector, it is strongly advisable for you to get a GAP or get an organic certification. Because also sometimes you may find a buyer who is very specific. They might want an organic certification, and therefore you will have no choice, but at least to have one. Now, what are the marketing channels for horticulture produce? We have direct exporting. Direct exporting refers to exporters who have, who are able to have all the resources that are required. That is, they have the premises, they have the cold rooms, they have the farms. They actually do the production themselves from their own farms, and they are able to process it themselves. And they are registered on the single window system. Basically, they can move the product from production to the market. That is a direct exporter. Some of the big companies that like maybe AAA, I can call that a direct exporting company. Kakuzi can also be another direct exporting, because basically they have all the infrastructure that is required for them to export. Now we have another exporting channel, which we called indirect exporting. And under indirect exporting, we have 3 methods there. So a grower can decide to sell to an exporting company. That is a company that is directly exporting. So that is an indirect export, yeah? Or they can sell it to a marketing agent who is able then to sell to an importer on the other side. Then we also have cooperatives. Cooperatives, basically what they do, they want to consolidate their produce because they are not, a single farmer is not able to raise the required consignment. So what do? They come together and form a cooperative, which then allows them to consolidate and aggregate, and they are able to export. And they are able even to engage buyers directly. I think this happens. It's like a model of coffee, only that in most cases, coffee is taken to the auction. Now, the other method of indirect exporting we have is producers can also sell through foreign companies or organizations registered here in Kenya. I'll give you an example. Kenya's flowers. Kenya's flowers do very well, especially in the auction. And most of the companies, some of them in Netherlands, they have set up shop here in Nairobi to basically help exporters to offtake, their product. So if you can identify companies that are willing to offtake your produce, that is also another way of exporting, but now that is regarded under the indirect exporting. And then we have finally the marketing agent. A marketing agent is simply a middleman who basically understands the dynamics of the market. This is somebody who knows who has buyers. He has prospective buyers in the importing country, and they also understand dynamics with production and the legal requirements that need to be met. So you will find that these people can buy produce from even farmers, and they can consolidate and they can send. Some of these marketing agents also supply to retail chains. In fact, even locally here in Kenya, they also supply to hotels. They also supply, groceries. So the HCD recommends that engagement with growers by marketing agents should be through contract farming. And that is also provided for in the law, under the law. Now, marketing agents, in fact, there's also a specific license for marketing agent. And one of the things that the regulator looks at is where are you sourcing your product from, and how are you engaging these farmers so that they can generate for you, they can produce for you. They also want to know where are you taking this produce, and do you have the necessary facilities that are required to process, to aggregate, to sort, to pack, and all that. So basically, I've come to the end of my presentation, and these are the things that we have looked at. We have looked at the business infrastructure, image builders, export documentation. We have looked at the regulators and facilitators, that is AFA, KEFIS, and KenTrade. We have seen how to stand out as an exporter by having a Global Gap or organic certification. And then also, I've also shared with you the marketing channels that are available for people to participate in export trade. So thank you so much for that. And I think I've come to the end of my presentation. Unless there's question Eunice, I would want to leave it at that. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kevin. I think he deserves a big, big clap. You can use the virtual clap, or you can, you know, show your video and clap physically so that you see, but I think he deserves a big clap, isn't it? I'm going to read some of the questions. Don't go away because there's some questions for you. I'll start with Felista Wakina. She says, okay, Felista Wakina of Softlink Options Limited, a web design company. What a great presentation, Mugendi. In my previous life, I exported fresh produce to Dubai and other destinations. I wish this knowledge was readily available then. I must say, nonetheless, the government agencies I dealt with then were very cooperative. Okay, that was not a question, it was a comment. She's saying that this information should have been available. Benson asked, do all these certifications drive up the cost of exporting? How easy is it to get them? Mugendi.
Yes, I think I can respond to that. Some of these certifications, let me talk about the legal certifications that are required. For exports of horticulture produce, of course, you must have a HCD license. I think that should not be a costly affair, as long as you can prove that you have the necessary infrastructure to export. Now, these other certifications like the Global Gap and the organic certification, they are a bit more expensive to acquire, but then what it does, it allows you to put a premium price on your product. Okay, so it allows you to put a premium price on the product because you have invested in ensuring that the processes that you put in your farming, in your processing, in your exporting, they meet the very, very best standards that there are. So I would say the legal requirements, those ones are not so expensive, I believe. But the ones, these other special ones, to help you to stand out, those ones you'll have to make an investment.
All right, I hope Benson, your question is answered. Rispa is asking, can chia seeds be considered?
Sorry, can?
Chia seeds. Chia.
Yes. Yes, they can be considered as long as you are able to find a market. As long as you're able to find a market for anything, you can export. What you just need to understand is the export procedure and the regulators in the sector that you're operating in. That is what is most important. Once you have, as long as you can export anything.
Awesome. Then there's another one, Christopher Kibiru. Can oils be referred to as horticulture?
Oils, no. Now, whenever you subject a product or whenever you subject an agriculture product into some form of processing, now that leaves that you have left the raw material, you have now entered into agro processing and value addition. So in that case, now also you will have additional, what you call additional regulators like KEBS. So now KEBS now comes in, and you'll have to acquire a standardization mark before you can start export business.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mugendi. We are 11 minutes. Okay, just a minute. I need to ask for permission because I promised we'd go at 8. It's now 8:11. Can we take at least 10 more minutes? I just need to hear from 3 people and then I'm good to go.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
please.
But I have a direct question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Jared. As I said first, I have now, as we speak, I have 6 acres of sweet potatoes ready for harvest. If I start documentation and certification for exports, maybe they rot in the chamber. So I don't know if I can find somebody to come and harvest them and export.
Okay, Jared, to respond to your question, now in your case, that's why I talked about the channels of exporting. For you now, the most, let me say, feasible way of exporting is indirect exporting. And therefore you quickly have to look for an exporter who is exporting sweet potatoes, okay? And work with them as you prepare now yourself for the next season.
Yeah, so I wanted to know if I can find one or if you have one in mind.
Well, we can always look around. What you do, you search for companies that are interested in or that are exporting what is it called? Sweet potatoes. And
Yeah,
I think this is a forum also because I understand we have marketing agents. Marketing agents can be a very good way of taking your sweet potatoes. So it's not all lost. You need now to move with speed to identify a marketing agent as you now try to formalize your business and follow the rightful procedures.
Thank you.
Awesome. Just there's another question, and I think it's addressed to me. When is the next trip? And if possible, indicate estimated cost for participating, please. I'm coming to that. It's actually the next thing we are going to discuss. But for the sake of Jared, there's a WhatsApp group that has been formed. Please join that group. The link is on the chat. Join that WhatsApp group so that then we can continue networking even beyond here. Remember, our dream for you at 20X is that you grow your sales 20X. I believe that you have something already in hand, because if you have 0, it means 0 times 20 is 0. So make sure that you have something in your hands, empty-handed, something we can apply. All right, so I'm going to answer that last question. Let me share my screen. Just a minute. Okay, let me know if you can see my screen. Okay, so we are done with this part. Thank you so much, Mugendi, for that. It's very deep, very deep information. And I believe it has been helpful to many of us. So somebody asked about the target dates. We are planning to go to Dubai on 27th of August to 31st of August. Those are how many days? About 4 days. Yeah, 4 days in Dubai. And when we go there, or rather, this is the amount that you need to contribute for that trip. And apart from the matchmaking and the networking events that you're going to have, it includes a flight return, that is economy, a 5-star hotel accommodation on bed and breakfast, airport transfers, half-day Dubai city tour. Remember, we said we need to also tour mix business and fun. Burj Khalifa, 124 floor, city view during non-peak hours. Marina cruise dinner, desert safari with barbecue dinner. And the tourist dirham will also be included in that, and the visa fees. So we want you to get as much value as it can be. And we have a payment plan whereby you start paying $359 per month for 5 months, starting, or it started 1st of March. So starting end of March, April, May, June, July. By July, you should have finished. And once you pay your first deposit, so this is how we're going to do it. You're going to complete a profile form. Why are we completing the profiling form? The Dubai Chamber of Commerce requested that you all fill in that form so that they're able to know what kind of importers on the other end are they going to connect you to. So they have the profiles of all the importers in Dubai. And so we need your profiles. So there's a form that has been shared on the chat, and it will also be shared on the WhatsApp group. So please make sure if you can't fill in the form, at least join the WhatsApp group so that you're able to have that form. Then you need to pay your first monthly installment, which is $359. And then after that, we start profiling people. Our target is by end of May. You're very clear on who are you meeting, what do they need, and all that. So the profile forms and the first installment is what is starting on our way. We agreed with the Dubai Chamber that by end of April, we'll give them the profiles of people who are ready. So please don't be left behind at the end of this month or even immediately start putting on your deposit. And you can contact us on these contacts. You can take a screenshot of that. And yes, any questions? Let me see if there are any questions. What do you do to hear the audio? You can't hear the audio? Are other people hearing?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I think you needed to connect with your audio, but now he can't even hear. Okay, so any questions? Is it clear on the way forward and how we move?
I have a question, please.
Go ahead, Sophie.
Yeah, so I work with Macquarie on the other project that has been happening. So
we can't hear you. Please get close to your mic.
Oh, I'm saying I work with Jared Macquarie on the project he's been talking about. So my question is, what if maybe for other reasons, financial or work reasons, you're not really able to travel to Dubai and you fill out the matchmaking form? Would you still benefit? Or like, I know there are advantages of going to Dubai in person, but for whatever reason, let's say you're unable to travel, is there a way the matchmaking can still go ahead?
Oh, all right. That's a good question. We did not, I must say we hadn't thought of that. Maybe it's something that we need to look at on an individual basis and see how we can work with that. So for now, I don't have an answer for that. Is it okay, Sophie? Let's take it out of this and see. Yeah.
Okay, that's okay.
Okay. Christopher is asking, what's the payment deadline if I can make one payment and not installment? Payment deadline for the full amount is June, end of June, 30th June. But it's advisable that you start making, the first deposit so that we can start matchmaking you. That is very important. And it also enables us to book the hotels, to book the tours, and to book the conference rooms, because we're going to have different conferences. For you guys, the exporters, you'll have your own event with the importers and all that. So please make the deposit so that we can start planning.
I have a question.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, my experience down here in Mashinani is that there are a lot of small-scale producers who I don't think they are able to meet that level of requirement, but they are best suited in fitting in terms of maybe, as you're saying, providing the marketers or aggregators. Do you have a directory list of these aggregators, marketers who are specialized in different products, so that people can be able to know if they are to produce something for export, these aggregators will be able to come and take their produce.
I think Kevin can answer that, and he actually spoke about it, but you can emphasize, Kevin.
Okay. Well, the issue of aggregators, as you have spoken about it, it is a bit sensitive, I must say, because we have farmers have experiences where they have reported even to the authorities that they sold their produce, they were not paid. Aggregators are there, marketing agents are there, but what I'm seeing, like there's a case study that I would want to refer you to, that is Muranga County, and I think also Kirinyaga County. These aggregators, they are working with the county governments, especially to mobilize farmers, okay? So that they are able to consolidate their produce and able to raise the required volumes that make business sense for them. So I don't know. It is the point here is, what I'm trying to say here is, the issue is the approach, because an aggregator also will not come if there are no good structures. If they cannot see a proper structure, they need to see an organization, you know, what you call the group dynamics. An organization has been formed of farmers. We have some kind of leadership, which is stable. We have people who are willing to follow the quality requirements that are required. We have people who are willing to, you know, keep records. So if you're able to organize yourself, and also maybe you write even to us, you formally write to us, to KEPROBA, to Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency, I'm sure we can find an aggregator who can work with the county government and now yourselves to, and the reason why you can hear me introducing government, it's because to avoid the risks that go with that kind of, you know, indirect exporting, because there are some risks that are associated with it and they have to be covered. So it's basically, you organize yourselves. Farmers must organize, and they must, you know, they intentionally organize themselves to raise volumes. Once that, if that can be seen, even if you talk even to HCD, they can give you an aggregator themselves. So that's how I would respond to that question.
All right, thank you, Mugendi. I hope that question is well answered. So it's just about due diligence. We don't want you to lose money and blame 20F, okay? So please, that's why we are collaborating with all the people that you need. That even if anything goes wrong, we have done everything that we can do as humans, okay? Emily, please go ahead and ask.
Hi.
Hi, Emily.
Yes, thank you, Eunice and Tim and Kelvin. I wanted to ask, this one is for Kelvin, is potato starch considered a horticultural product? And is there a market in Dubai for potato starch?
Okay, now potatoes are regulated by, we have a different directorate within Agriculture and Food Authority. I think it's called, is it crops? I think it's called the Crops Directorate, something Crops Directorate, that deals with licensing of potatoes. Now, our biggest market for potatoes is Uganda, our neighbors right here. Now, that is not to say that you cannot sell potatoes or you cannot export potatoes in Dubai.
No, I'm saying it's potato starch, not potatoes as potatoes, the starch.
The starch itself.
Yes.
That one I might want to look into it.
Okay.
Yeah, you may want to give me some time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Emily, please join the WhatsApp group. We'll keep giving more information. It's already 8:26. I don't want us to go beyond here. I can see there are many questions. This protocol about dried foods, all these, can we answer them on the WhatsApp group, please? So that we allow people to go for dinner. And so that when we say it's 8, it remains that. Is that agreeable? I want to say that you have a good night. So join the WhatsApp group. Let's continue with the conversation at the WhatsApp group. I know you have many questions, keep asking them. All right. So thank you so much once again for joining us. We're looking forward to grow your business. Please, we want you to achieve your dream so that we achieve our dream. And our dream is for you to grow 20x. Don't forget that. Our dream for you is to grow 20x. So please help us help you. All right. Have a good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.